Welcome back, everybody. We're diving into something pretty interesting today.
Oh, yeah.
Warren Buffett's 2024 letter.
Oh, to the Berkshire Hathaway shareholder.
Exactly.
Always love those.
There's so much good stuff in there. We'll be looking at his investment philosophy, Berkshire's performance,
And his perspective on the American economy.
all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing how he weaves all those things together.
I know, like business strategy and economics.
Even some folksy wisdom.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a great writer.
I know, and he really walking the walk. Did you know
Yeah.
that his salary from Berkshire Hathaway was just $100,000
For how long?
for nearly 2 decades?
Wow. That's amazing for someone
I know.
with that much wealth.
I know.
That shows you something about his commitment to building long-term value.
Right. It's not
For shareholders.
Yeah.
It's not about lining his own pockets. It's
Exactly.
about growing the pie for everybody
Which is also reflected in them not paying dividends.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Over 60 years.
60 years?
They haven't paid a dividend.
Wow.
All those profits are reinvested,
All those profits just going back into the company,
letting that compounding work its magic
generating massive returns over time,
long term.
long term. Speaking of returns, how'd Berkshire do in 2024?
They did pretty well.
Seems like it.
They had a pretty good year, better than
Better than expected.
Buffett's expectations even.
Yeah, but here's the thing that I thought was weird. 53%.
Of their operating businesses reported a decline in earnings.
How does that happen?
Well, it's because Buffett really focuses on operating earnings.
Okay.
So you've got GAAP earnings, which are the standard
Right.
accounting earnings, and those include things like unrealized gains and losses from investments.
Okay.
So they can be misleading.
Right.
And Buffett prefers to look at the actual cash flow being generated by Berkshire's businesses,
That makes sense.
which is a better measure of the true performance.
So even though some businesses might have taken a hit on paper, the core operations were still churning out cash.
Yes, exactly.
So what drove the strong performance?
Well, a few things. One was increased investment income,
Okay.
partly due to increased holdings in U.S. Treasury bills.
I was going to say with interest rates going up,
Yeah.
that seems like,
With interest rates going up, yeah, that's a safe, steady place to put your money.
yeah, and just, yeah, classic Buffett.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Sure.
So, but it's not all about playing it safe. They also got a boost from the insurance sector,
Okay.
particularly Geico.
I feel like they've been working on that for a while.
Yeah, they've made some adjustments, and those are starting to pay off.
Yeah, he was giving Todd Combs a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, repolishing Geico, I think he called it.
Repolishing, yeah, that's funny. But also those core Berkshire businesses.
The backbone of the portfolio.
Yeah, the railroad.
Yeah, the railroad and utility operations.
Both delivered improved earnings.
Yes.
More steady, reliable returns.
Absolutely.
Like we were just talking about.
Exactly. Long-term, steady, reliable.
Long-term, steady, reliable. That's how he does it.
And speaking of long-term, they bought the remaining 8% of their utility operation, bringing them to 100% ownership.
Wow, so they're fully controlling these critical businesses.
Yeah, they really believe in these businesses. They're putting their money where their mouth is.
It's interesting, they also set a record.
Oh, for tax payments.
Yes.
Highest corporate income tax payment in U.S. history.
That's crazy.
$26.8 billion.
That's a lot of money.
That's roughly 5% of all corporate income tax paid in America.
Wow.
That's a huge number.
That's amazing, especially for a company that's known for being tax efficient.
Well, it's all tied to that reinvestment.
Yeah.
Remember, they don't pay dividends, they reinvest.
Right, so all that money is going right back into the company.
Exactly. So it's fueling growth, leading to higher profits.
Okay, so bigger tax bill,
Bigger tax bill.
which then I guess...
Benefits the country as a whole.
Exactly, so virtuous cycle.
Reinvestment leads to growth, which leads to higher taxes, which ultimately benefits the country as a whole.
Exactly.
So let's dive into their investing strategy.
Oh, yeah.
Buffett describes their approach as ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous, meaning they have two different approaches they use.
Okay.
First is controlling.
Okay.
That's where they take 80 to 100% stakes in companies.
So these are those 189 subsidiaries.
Yes, a diverse collection of businesses. Some are stars, some are just steady earners.
It's like their own little portfolio of
Well,
businesses.
yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
And then there's the minority hand, where they take smaller stakes in a select group of very large and profitable companies.
So the Apples, the American Expresses,
Coca-Cola, Moody's.
household names.
Yeah, big companies with big moats.
Okay, so it's about choosing which approach is the best.
Yeah, for each situation. And he does point out some interesting differences between the two.
Yes, he does.
Like with their minority stake investments, they have more flexibility to
Yeah.
exit if things go south.
Right, they can sell those shares
Right.
more easily than, with the controlled companies.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not easy for them to just buy and sell.
Especially with how big Berkshire is.
Yeah, it can take a long time to build a position.
Right, sometimes over a year.
Or more,
Yeah, and that limits their minority stake investments.
in some ways,
Right, they can't go in and like shake things up.
if they disagree with management.
Right, exactly.
But on the other hand, their reputation can be an advantage.
How so?
Some business owners actually seek them out.
Because of their long-term perspective.
Exactly. They know that Berkshire is not going to come in and try to flip the business.
Right, and they have a hands-off approach to management.
So they trust them.
They trust them.
Yeah.
I love his stories, though.
Me too.
He always has such good stories, and
Yeah.
this one is no different. Pete Legal, the founder of Forest River
I love this story.
RV manufacturer.
It's a great story. It all starts with Pete sending a very straightforward letter to Buffett.
Just like,
That's
hey, I want to
fine.
sell you my business.
Exactly. No bankers, no fancy presentations.
What did Buffett think of that?
He liked it. He liked the numbers, so they set up a meeting,
Okay.
and they get to talking about compensation, and Buffett says, I'll agree to whatever number you write down.
Oh, my God.
What does Pete say?
$100,000.
$100,000.
Oh.
Less than his boss.
And he looked at the proxy statement?
Yeah.
Wow. That shows you something about his character.
He's not in it for the money. He's in it for the
He's in it for the...
business,
Yeah,
the challenge.
the challenge.
Yeah. And also he asked for a 10% bonus
Oh, I remember that part.
on earnings above.
Above what the company was currently making.
Yeah. Aligning incentives.
That's brilliant. And he did great.
He crushed it
No competitor even came close.
for the next 19 years.
19 years.
Yeah.
Wow. He didn't need a fancy degree or a big salary to be a brilliant leader.
No, he just needed talent.
So true. And Buffett explicitly states that he doesn't even look at candidates' educational backgrounds.
Interesting.
When he's looking.
He thinks business talent is often innate
Yeah.
and that experience and drive are way more valuable than
Then credentials.
credentials.
Yeah. Bill Gates.
Dropped out of Harvard.
Yeah. Ben Rosner.
Didn't even finish 6th grade.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. But even on a broader market level, some people are saying...
They're saying Berkshire is sitting on a mountain of cash.
Right.
But Buffett is unwavering in his faith in equities,
American equities.
particularly American equities. Yeah, the best vehicle for building long-term wealth.
He's always saying that, but he also contrasts that with the risks,
Of holding cash.
especially with inflation and economic uncertainty.
Yeah, I mean, paper money can erode quickly if
Fiscal policies
fiscal policies go astray.
go astray,
Yeah, he points to countries
where they devalued their currencies.
their currencies wiped out people's savings. Yeah, but he believes that strong businesses, those providing essential goods and services, will find ways to thrive.
Especially in turbulent times.
Right, and especially in America, American businesses,
He loves American businesses.
American ingenuity,
Yeah.
entrepreneurial spirit.
He acknowledges that the system isn't perfect,
He even calls it lousy
but he argues it's still the best we have.
for generating wealth and opportunity.
Yeah, and he says that Berkshire shareholders have contributed
In a small way to the American miracle.
by foregoing those dividends and letting the profits be reinvested.
And it just shows how individual savings, when wisely deployed, can fuel economic growth.
Yeah, and create widespread prosperity.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, no discussion of Berkshire would be complete without talking about.
Oh, property casualty insurance.
Yes, PC insurance. It's a complex industry,
It is.
but it has a unique financial model.
Very unique.
So explain it to me.
So, unlike other businesses that pay for labor and materials up front, insurers receive premiums up front, but they might not have to pay out on those claims for years.
Years.
Sometimes even decades.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So what do they do with that money?
Well, they hold it and they invest it.
That float.
That's the flow.
That float.
And that can be really substantial,
Yeah.
giving them a lever for generating returns.
Okay.
But of course, there are also risks.
Well, yeah, like what kind of risks?
The timing and magnitude of claims can be really unpredictable.
Especially for those long tail lines of coverage.
Yeah, like medical malpractice or product liability.
Right.
So they could be reporting healthy profits one year
Yeah,
and then get hit with a ton of claims the next.
that makes sense. So it really takes a lot of discipline
Yeah,
to succeed in this business.
a lot of discipline.
Underwriting and risk management.
And that's what Berkshire does really well.
Well, yeah. I mean, they can absorb huge losses.
Yeah, they're very strong financially.
Buffett describes them as Gibraltar-like.
Yeah, Gibraltar-like
Yeah.
in their financial strength.
So their size and diversification allow them to withstand.
Unexpected events.
Yeah, both literally and figuratively.
Absolutely.
Even with climate change and the risk of these catastrophic events.
Yeah, they're still confident.
Buffett even jokes that PC insurance is
Yeah.
definitely not a business for optimists.
Not for often.
Not for optimists.
Yeah, it takes a certain mindset.
Yeah, to be okay with that uncertainty.
Willingness to make tough decisions.
Yeah, for sure. What about these Japanese companies?
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
It seems like a departure from
From their normal.
yeah, their typical focus.
But when you look closer, you see that these companies are kind of like mini Berkshires.
Oh, how
They have diversified holdings in a wide range of businesses,
okay.
just like Berkshire Hathaway.
Okay, so what attracted Buffett to them?
Well, initially, it was the low stock prices.
Classic Buffett value investor.
Buying good businesses at a discount.
Okay.
But then as they got to know the companies,
Yeah.
they were impressed with their fundamentals, capital allocation strategies,
And of course,
shareholder-friendly practices,
I love that.
dividends and repurchasing shares.
And he even subtly contrasts that with U.S. companies,
Yeah.
implying that the Japanese executives are less focused on just enriching themselves.
Yeah, it's subtle,
It is subtle.
but it's definitely there.
It's definitely there. Okay, so what are the plans for these Japanese investments?
They seem to be in it for the long haul.
Okay.
They've agreed to keep their holdings below 10% in each company, but those companies have relaxed that ceiling a bit.
Suggesting they might.
They might buy more.
Yeah. What are the currency risk?
Oh, yeah, good point.
Sure.
They've been increasing their yen-denominated borrowings.
Yen-denominated.
Borrowings to maintain a neutral currency position.
So they're not trying to predict which way the yen will move.
No, they're just mitigating
They're mitigating the impact.
the fluctuations.
Smart.
It's smart. It's risk management.
It's risk management. We've covered a lot. Performance, investment philosophy, American capitalism.
His unique approach to talent.
Yeah, what else?
What really stood out to me was Buffett's emphasis on long-term thinking,
Yeah.
patience in investing.
Yeah. He loves to talk about that.
Yeah, but it's an important message
It is. It's so easy to get caught up.
in the short term,
Yeah, in the short
the
term.
day-to-day.
And we forget about that long game.
Absolutely, and it's something to think about.
How can we apply this in our lives?
How can we apply it in our investments, in our decisions?
Yeah, especially in today's fast-paced, short-term focused world.
Yeah, it's a good question.
It is a good question.
We're thinking about.
You know, it's funny
All right.
how Buffett can make even the most complicated
Oh, yeah.
financial concepts
Bruh.
seem so simple
Yeah.
and understandable.
It's amazing he just cuts through the jargon,
I know.
explains things in plain English.
With
Analogies, anecdotes,
yeah.
real-life examples.
Yeah. And he's also not afraid to admit when he makes mistakes.
Oh, yeah. In
In fact, he encourages, by the way.
He encourages it. He sees it as
Learning opportunity.
a learning opportunity.
Right.
And he emphasizes acting decisively
Mhm.
to correct those mistakes,
That's a great point.
rather than just hoping they'll go away.
Yeah, it's not about being perfect.
Right.
It's about learning from your experiences
Yeah.
and constantly improving.
Which, again, you don't always see in the business world.
No, you don't. I find it almost comforting,
Yeah.
Buffett's steady, consistent approach.
It's like having a wise mentor guiding you through
Oh.
the ups and downs of the market.
Yeah.
He's seen it all.
Yeah.
And he's always maintained that long-term perspective.
Even when things get a little
Turbulent.
turbulent, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a beacon of rationality
Yes.
in this sometimes irrational.
Absolutely. An
Yeah.
unpredictable world.
Yeah, and he reminds us that true success is built on
Patience. Discipline.
discipline and a long-term perspective.
Absolutely.
Values that can be applied.
To many aspects
Yeah.
of life, not just
It's just investing.
investing.
Right. But he's been doing this for over 6 decades.
I know.
He's seen bull markets, bear markets, crashes, bubbles,
everything.
you name it.
He's the epitome of a long-term investor.
He does not get rattled
It's-
by those short-term fluctuations.
Doesn't even look at him.
No, he's focused on the bigger picture.
Absolutely.
What a valuable lesson for all of us.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, tuning out the noise.
Yeah, stay focused on your goals.
And don't get caught up in the day-to-day swings.
Right, because that's not where wealth is created.
Right.
It's about sticking to your strategy.
Even when
Everybody else is panicking.
panicking or getting caught up in the latest fad.
And that's where Buffett's example is so powerful
Yeah.
because he's shown time and time again that patience
That's
will
going to outperform.
even the most sophisticated algorithms,
Fancy algorithms.
short-term trading strategies.
He's a long-term guy.
It's just a good reminder.
In this world where everything's moving so fast,
I know.
so much information,
Yeah.
we need to remember
Yeah.
that some things,
Mm-hmm.
like the principles of sound investing,
They're timeless.
they're timeless, they're enduring
Yeah. So how do we apply this?
in today's world.
Yeah. How do we apply that long-term thinking?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it?
It is a big question. It feels like everything.
Is geared toward
Yeah.
instant gratification,
Yeah. Short-term results.
short-term results.
So what do we do?
Well, first of all, I think we need to be mindful
Okay.
of our own biases and tendencies.
Because we are wired
We are wired to seek
immediate.
immediate rewards.
Yeah.
You know, our brains are
Yeah.
programmed that way.
Yeah. And it takes work
It takes conscious effort
to overcome that.
to overcome that.
Yeah. So recognize those impulses and make the choice to prioritize long-term
Long-term goals
over short-term satisfaction.
and delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Understand.
Sometimes those
Meaningful
rewards take time.
require time,
Yeah.
patience,
Patience,
Cons-
consistent effort.
consistent effort.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think also being selective
Oh, yeah.
about the information that we consume
Absolutely.
and the people.
And the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah, because it's so easy to get caught up
In the hype cycles.
in the hype.
The news.
Yeah.
The opinions.
Yeah.
Everybody's got an opinion.
They do.
Find sources you trust.
Find sources you trust.
And find mentors who share
Yeah.
your long-term perspective.
So create a space
Yeah.
to think clearly
Yes.
and make decisions that are aligned with our values.
And your long-term goals.
Yeah.
Be intentional.
Be intentional, yeah.
With your time and energy.
Don't get swept up in the currents of the moment.
Yes, exactly.
But that doesn't mean
that you have to be
being passive.
passive or ignore opportunities.
Right. It's about being ready to act.
When the right opportunity
Yeah.
presents itself,
Presents itself, yeah.
but don't feel pressured
To chase every trend.
or react to every headline.
And that's where his investment approach comes in.
Oh, yeah.
He's not afraid to sit on the sidelines
Nope.
and wait for the right pitch.
He's waiting.
But when he sees it,
He swings for the fences.
swings big,
Yeah, he's dishonest,
Diplomat.
patient, but also
decisive,
decisive and bold
bold when it's needed.
when the time calls for it.
And it takes a lot of
Self-awareness.
self-awareness, yeah.
And a willingness to
Learn and adapt.
learn and adapt.
Yeah, recognizing that we don't have all the answers.
That's right.
Be humble enough to admit when we're wrong
Yeah.
and change course
Absolutely.
when it's needed.
Yeah.
And it's not always about,
Maximizing financial returns. It's about creating a life.
a meaningful life
A fulfilling life.
for yourself,
For those around us.
for others,
It's about aligning our actions
with your values,
with our values,
Mhm.
using our resources
to make a positive impact.
on the world,
Yeah, and leaving
leaving a legacy
a legacy
that you can be proud
that
of,
you can be proud of, building something
building something that lasts.
that lasts.
Yeah, creating value
To others.
for others long after we're gone,
That's a great way to put it.
and inspiring others
Oh,
to kind of embrace that
that long-term
perspective.
perspective
Yeah, use their talents
and resources
to make a difference.
to make the world a better place.
Ripple effect of positive change
Exactly.
that goes beyond just us.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a really powerful message.
It is.
We all have that power
We do.
to make a difference
In our own lives.
in our own lives
And
and
for other.
in the world around us.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive.
Of our deep dive into Warren Buffett's 2024 letter.
It was fun.
As always, and for our listeners, you can find the letter.
On Berkshire Hathaway's website.
Yeah, check it out.
Full text.
Full text, yeah.
It's worth a read.
It's worth a read. Great insight.
Into one of the greatest minds in business.
Until next time, happy investing, everybody.
Keep those brains engaged.
You know what's amazing?
What's that?
How Buffett can just distill these complex ideas
Oh, yeah.
down to these simple terms.
He's a master communicator.
I know. He doesn't use any fancy jargon.
Yep.
He doesn't try to impress you
He's not trying to show off. He just wants
with his intellect.
to help people
I know. And
understand.
it's like he's just sharing wisdom with you.
Like over a cup of coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a friend.
a friend.
Yeah, just chatting.
I know. And it's not just the words he uses.
No, it's the stories.
Well, stories, yeah.
The stories he tells.
Like
the
them.
Pete League story. $100,000 salary.
Right. Just shows you.
Shows you his approach to talent.
That he thinks that true leadership
Isn't about the money.
isn't about the money.
It's about something bigger,
Yeah.
about building something.
But also
You know.
his ability to spot potential
Oh, yeah.
in these unexpected places.
Doesn't care about the fancy degrees
He doesn't care.
or the prestigious back.
He wants people with integrity, drive, passion. And that brings us back to
Long-term thinking.
long-term thinking,
Long-term thinking.
patience,
Discipline.
discipline. That's his core philosophy.
Been doing it for decades.
Decades, and look at him now.
One of the most successful investors of all time.
All time.
And those principles, just as relevant today as they were
I'd say even more so.
back then.
With this crazy
In
world.
old, fast-paced.
So easy to get caught up
Yeah.
in the hype.
Size
Yeah.
and lose sight.
Lose sight of what matters.
What
The
matters?
fundamentals. The fundamentals. It's so easy to get distracted
I know.
by the no.
The headlines.
Yeah.
Oh, this stock is down. Oh, this stock is up.
Gotta react.
I got to buy this. I got to sell this.
Yeah, exactly.
But true success
Is built on that.
is built on patience, discipline, long-term perspective.
Sticking to your strategy.
Even when everyone else,
Yeah, they're panicking.
they're freaking out. They're
got caught up in the latest fad.
the latest fad. But he's like, nope,
Steady as she goes.
steady as she goes. I'm just going to stay focused on what I can control.
Exactly, and not get swept up in the currents of the moment.
Yeah.
Just keep your eye on the prize.
But it's also about recognizing
Yeah.
that true wealth is not just about accumulating.
Money.
It's about building something
Yeah, building something that lasts,
that lasts,
that creates value,
creates value
Weird.
for yourself and for others.
and leaves a legacy
A legacy, exactly.
that you're proud of.
Something bigger than yourself.
Exactly. It's about making that impact
Positive impact on the world.
and leaving the world a little bit better than we found it.
I love that.
So I think that's a powerful message
It is a powerful message.
to end on.
Yeah.
So we covered a lot of ground today. Berkshire's performance,
Yeah.
Buffett's philosophy.
His views on the economy.
But if there's one thing to take away,
What would it be?
long-term thinking
Long-term thinking.
and staying true to those principles.
Timeless advice.
Timeless advice.
Applies to so many aspects of life.
So many aspects of life. So as always,
Explore the source material
yes, you can find the full letter.
on Berkshire Hathaway's website.
Check it out. Tons of wisdom.
Yeah. From one of the greatest
Greatest minds in business.
in the world.
Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time.
Keep diving deep, everybody.